We are back on the air at NCQMA track in Salisbury. This is Mike Pettaway, and I'm here with Alec Hodges, who is our first-time commentator for the quarter midget races. But Alec, before we're getting ready to do the A main features after qualifying in the booth, and we were talking about this young man when he was doing his qualifying, Mr. Will Beaupre. Welcome to the show, Will. Folks, for you that didn't see that, Will nodded his head yes. Now, you are a rookie driver, red rookie.
Yep.
And you won a race. I think you won the last time we were here, didn't you? I know you won one of the races I was covering. You were the winner. But then I also noticed that you hold a track record, too, which you set. Now, how many is it? You've just started racing just recently. How old are you?
7.
What did you? How did you find out about NCQMA, and what gave you the idea to come out here and race?
Lucas Sipka.
Lucas Sipka. Lucas is a good little kid, isn't he? Yeah. So are you guys neighbors and friends, I guess? When you first started, did you like it right away? You thought this was a lot of fun?
Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
That it was fun, and also winning is fun too, isn't it? What's the most difficult thing as a rookie driver? What did you have to learn when you get out there? Because when you race against 4 or 5 or 6 other kids, probably pretty crowded out there.
Well, there's a certain line you have to run in a rookie. It's pretty difficult to figure it out after a while, and then after a while you have it.
So once you get that line figured out and know what you've got to do, then it makes it probably more fun, and you get to probably lead some races too and win like you did.
Yep.
Now, are you going to continue racing and maybe move up to a blue rookie and eventually get into the competitive fields, maybe?
Yep.
And your mom and dad like the fact that you're racing and they enjoy it? When you went out and qualified today, did you notice anything about, was the track slick, not a lot of grip, or what do you think?
It was kind of loose. There's still some grip on it. Chip told me to run a bigger circle on the warm-ups and then get on my line on the greens.
So just doing those big, like the big circle that where all the rubber is down, or whatever rubber there is down.
Yeah.
Now, where are you going to be starting in your main today?
4th. I was going to start in 5th, but the new driver, since it's the first race, he has to start 5th, I guess.
So Paige Robinson will start 5th. So did they invert were you the top qualifier and they invert the field? I think they invert the top 5.
Yeah, because now I start 4th.
So you'll be starting on the outside of the second row. And I guess the preferred line is to be on the inside. So what's your plan, to get there as quickly as you can get there to the bottom?
Well, how I won last Tuesday, I just mostly passed him on the outside.
On the outside? So they probably didn't expect that, because most people try to go underneath you and pass you, but you were up on the outside.
Yeah. In blue rookie, Ronnie Sipka told me I can't do that.
You can't pass on the outside in blue rookie? Why does he say that?
Because they'll bring you up into the wall.
Oh, well, if you got control of the car, it won't. But I think you're going to have to develop your own driving style, and probably whatever makes you comfortable is probably going to help you more than anything.
Justin Opplinger, he's really good at passing on the outside in that senior Honda.
There's a lot of good drivers out here, and I know that since you won very early in your career, I think you're going to be one of these guys that we're going to be talking about, because I think you have that knack about you that you know how to drive a race car. It's fun to watch you, and I know when you win, you get really happy. And I'm sure your mom and dad, they like it for you to win too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your race is going to be race number 4, so you'll be racing here not in just a few minutes. When you get through your race, why don't you come back up and we'll talk about how you did and how the track was. You want to do that for me?
Sure.
We'll be back up. We'll be doing all the races, so when you get through with your race and get all your post-race stuff done over in the scale house, just make your way back up here, and we'll put you back on the air, and we'll get some comments from how you thought the race went.
All right.
See if Mr. Hodges has a question for Mr. Beaupre. He's eating right now. But
yeah, I had an M&M in my mouth. But how does it feel to get into a car and run this track? And have you ever had any flips out here?
Mm-mm. almost have right down there, and
Coming out of turn 1?
Turn 1 and 2.
yeah, and I came down under, I think it was Colt Curry,
Mm-hmm.
and I went way under the rumble strips and went right over his car.
I think I remember that, yeah. Curry, yep, you did.
Wow.
But these cars are really safe. I know you kids have a lot of fun when you're out there racing. We're looking forward to some great action. This is Alex's first time ever seeing the quarter midget racing, and I told him that it's going to be exciting, it's going to be entertaining, and main thing, the kids are having a great time.
Especially those things are fast.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, Mr. Beaupre, I want to wish you good luck today. Maybe you'll be in victory lane, but come back up here and see us after the race, and we'll get your thoughts on how it went. Okay, thanks for stopping by. That's Will Beaupre, who is a red rookie here at the NCQMA track, a winning driver, Alec. And, it's amazing how these kids, they're just very knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing about these young kids that I've learned is coming out here and just talking to them. They know their stuff. They know their ins and outs about their race car. When it comes to, is it pushing? Is it loose? Is it, all this other stuff? And they have no problem telling you, what's wrong with their car, what they need to work on, how they need to fix things, stuff like that.
We've just been joined in the broadcast vantage point by Mr. Lucas Sipka, who is Will Beaupre's friend. And Lucas has been I guess this is your second year racing here at NCQMA?
Yes.
How'd your qualifying go?
I can't remember my time, but I was the second fastest.
Second fastest? Well, that's always a good thing. You're going to be racing in the we got some noise in the background. We're getting ready to start our first A main. It's the Heavy 160. But Lucas, you're going to be starting second in the senior Honda, so you'll be on the outside of the front row.
Uh-huh.
How important is it to get down to the bottom as quick as you can?
Very important.
So what's your objective is to try to beat that other person to the turn 1 and dive in front of the first car?
What I'm going to do, but what I'm also going to do is off turn 4, turn 2, I'm going to hit the gas and try to get a good jump on out of turn 4.
Now we're getting ready here for the A main for the Heavy 160, and car number 1 is Abigail Kinney, and starting on the outside of the front row is number 2, Chase Anderson, of the Anderson clan that has 3 drivers, and then shotgun on the field is Macy Curry. So they're going to give them one more lap to go before they start. Alec, what they do is once they get one to go, the flag man will point to this yellow line over here in cone, and that's where they are allowed to hit the gas. But Lucas, sometimes don't you guys hit the gas back here?
Yes.
And if the guy in front of you doesn't, then you have problems.
Well, I'm just pushing them.
Yeah.
Pushing whoever's in front of me.
They did not throw the green on that. Got out of whack with Anderson getting passed by both Abigail Kinney and Macy Curry. So they try to keep them as bunched up together as they can for the start. So we're going to give it one more try here. Looks like they're going to get the green flag, and Abigail takes her foot off the gas and gets passed by both Curry and Anderson. Curry is out to about a 7-car lead here on the opening laps of the 35-lap A main.
Macy Curry's out to like you said, she's getting out to a huge lead right now.
I don't know what happened to Abigail. She kind of looked like she hesitated right before the start-finish line, and both cars went around her. And I don't know if her foot came off the throttle or what would have happened, but Macy Curry obviously has a good car, and she's already about a straightaway ahead of Anderson, who is in second place. So how's the track today, Lucas? I've heard some of the kids say that there's not much grip, not much rubber down, and it's kind of a slick track.
True.
Is that what?
It's not that very tight. It's pretty loose because there's not much grip.
And not a lot of rubber and not a lot of traffic on it. We had single car qualifying, which do you prefer single car qualifying to batch qualifying?
Yes.
Do you?
More NASCAR-like.
Yeah, so you can maybe set a track record or just when you're out there by yourself, it's you against the track.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there's not much change in the A feature of the heavy 160. Looks like Curry is closing in on Abigail Kinney to put her a lap down here on 21 laps to go, the 35-lap feature. Anderson is keeping that lead to about a straightaway, and now Curry, leading the race, comes up alongside of Abigail Kinney at the start-finish line and spins out.
Yeah, she spun.
That was just the car getting away from her. Nobody hit her. She just lost it right there at the start-finish line.
Happens to me sometimes.
You know, and we sit up here, we watch these races, and I tell everybody how impressed I am of how well all you guys do, and it's every now and then, you know, even the best guys spin out cars every now and then. So what's your thoughts on your race today? You going to have a chance to maybe pick up a win here? Or
probably.
Going to race hard, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a caution with 19 laps to go, with Curry spinning out as a leader.
When I saw the car get sideways, I thought she was going to spin, and she did.
So when she came up out of turn 4, you could tell she was losing it already. So that saves Abigail from going a lap down, because she maintained, she crossed the start-finish line in front of Macy. So Chase Anderson will inherit the lead on the restart, with Abigail running second, and Curry will be running third. But Alec, as we've noted, Macy Curry has a fast machine today, and
she does.
And I think she may take these two to school here in a minute and get around them in a hurry.
How many classes is she running today? Do you know? I know she's running at least 2, because her other car is pretty fast as well.
Yeah, I think she just runs two classes, right?
Yeah, we watched her qualifying event in her other class, and she was tremendously fast.
I noticed on your checkered flag lap when you qualifying, you kind of lost it coming out of turn 4. Has that been a problem with your car? Have you got it set up so it's going to be not so loose, I guess?
I don't know, but probably. I haven't been checking out the car, but it's probably going to be tightened up. If not, it's going to stay the same.
There goes Macy Curry. They just dropped underneath Abigail Kinney to take over second place.
So Anderson is about 10 car lengths ahead of Macy, but Macy is
closing in.
She's closing in, and she's hitting those marks perfectly on that between the turns. She's right on the rumble strips. But Anderson's doing a good job keeping out front. We've got 14 laps to go.
Chase has a good lead.
He has a good lead. You think Macy can catch him?
Maybe not.
I tell you what, if you had a caution, got on his bumper, I think it'd be a different story. But
yeah.
Chase did a good job of getting out in front of her, and he took advantage of the fact that she had to get around Abigail. And when she was doing the passing, Chase just took off and stretched out his lead.
And Chase is catching up to Abigail.
So we got about just about a half a straightaway lead now. Looks like Macy, she left front tires coming off the ground in the corners. She's really giving it all she's got coming through those turns.
Yeah, I would have to say if Chase doesn't make any mistakes, then he should be set for this finish.
With 6 laps, he should be able to maintain that. The only thing, if they run up on the slower car and they have to alter their line or slow down, then that could create some issues. It's like Chase has caught Abigail in turn 1 and 2. He drives below, comes out of turn 3 and 4 and passes her.
Got it. 2 laps to go.
That was a clean pass. Did not cause any problem with Chase having to slow down. So now the white flag is out, and Macy almost spun out again and down the backstretch.
Like
so the winner is going to be Chase Anderson. Second place will be Macy Curry, and Abigail Kinney will bring her car home third. That was a fairly non-eventful race, just that one spin out.
Yep.
So Mr.
face.
Mr. Sipka, you're going to have to get ready for your race here. I don't want you guys to be up here and miss the driver's call to your car. Then they blame us for you missing the race. So
Yeah.
you can come back anytime and talk to us. And good luck today, man. Have a good race.
Thank you.
That was Lucas Sipka, who was the Rookie of the Year last year, TriadSportsCoverage.com Rookie of the Year here at the NCQMA. He's got a race coming up in about 2 races. So Mr. Anderson takes his victory laps. And, Alec, that was the first race that you've seen with 3 cars. It was kind of a non-eventful race, but you can see how touchy these cars are. And you take the race leader, spins out, and that cost her the race. I mean, she was running away with this race.
She did, and when she got out front, I thought, okay, well, this is it's pretty much putting it in the books. And then next thing you know, she's coming out of turn 4, and she gets loose and spins out, and didn't quite get to the start-finish line, because if she did, or do they send her to the back since she?
When you bring out a caution, you have to restart in the back.
Okay.
So she would have been starting in the rear of the field, and she was behind Abigail Kinney, so Abigail stayed on the lead lap, and so they rebunched the field up with the car that caused the caution in the rear of the field. So that takes care of the first of 10 races. The weather is holding off. It's still overcast. Looks like bottom could drop out any time, but hopefully it's going to maintain good weather here for the next couple hours, get us a chance to get these 10 races in. The junior animal event is the next 35-lap race that will be taking place today. We got on the pole is Mr. Luke Riffle, and he will be starting beside Tyler Conover. Will be on the outside of row 1, and then starting third is Delana Hodge, and the 4th place car is Gavin Bochelle. So there's 4 very talented, quality drivers in this race. They've all 4 have great cars. They're very good drivers. They've all had their share of wins. Luke Riffle, as we talked about with his older brother Levi, he's one of the most improved drivers. So all of a sudden he's decided he wanted to be a competitive driver and not just out there running around the track. And he's really and Luke is a quiet young man.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't talk as much as Levi, unless you don't want him to talk. Then he'll talk. But he does a great job racing. This year he's won a couple races. And we're going to have another guest commentator come up and offer his analysis, Mr. Ryan Repko. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Repko.
Thank you.
Ryan, of course, is, I guess you're a part-time quarter midget racer now, because you've moved on to the limited sportsman late model races, and you've had a couple races under your belt. And how did it feel today when you got back in your quarter midget after handling the late model, those big cars on those big tracks?
Well, they're a heck of a lot harder to turn. I'm used to power steering now. And the track's just so small here, and you may only be going 45 miles an hour, but the track's just so small that it feels so much faster. And it was kind of a shock when I got out there and the turn was coming that fast.
Now, when you went out to qualify, was that your first time back in a quarter midget?
Yes.
Because you hadn't been doing any practicing or anything. Well, you haven't forgotten how to drive, because we were noting up here how you were dead on your marks. Looked pretty smooth out there. Did it feel good?
Yeah, the car was really good. We're probably going to loosen it up for the A-Main, because it had a lot of grip, but that's not really something you want to see early on, because you want it to be a little bit loose. That way it doesn't bog down the car.
So the junior animal races is underway, but Luke Riffle leading, and Delana Hodge was actually
right in front of us,
running second on Luke's bumper, and she spun out on her own here on the backstretch. So we got a caution at lap with lap 33 laps to go. Yeah, I think Delaney was headed to the front and just got a little bit over anxious here and spun out in turn 4.
Yeah, she had they were running almost side by side, her and Luke.
So in the restart, we'll have Luke Riffle and Gavin Bochelle Tyler Conover, and then Delana Hodge. So, Ryan, are we going to get these races in today?
It looks pretty promising, actually. I can see a little bit of sun peeking through these clouds, but it's nothing like it was this morning.
Well, I hope we can get a whole day in because it's certainly a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's why we came here instead of Hickory, because we figured they were all going to rain out. It's a lot cheaper for us to run a quarter midget than it is a late model,
yeah,
so we decided
imagine.
to come out and race.
So Luke Riffle's still maintaining about a car length lead over Gavin Boschel, and Delana Hodge comes on the inside of Tyler Conover in turn 1 and 2 and takes over that third position. Has her eyes on the front. Here she comes, about 4 car lengths behind. Boschel is now on Luke's bumper, pushing him through turns 1 and 2.
And Boschel closed that gap pretty high, and he's got to run on the inside going into turn 3 and 4, and now he has the lead.
That was a great move by Gavin Boschel. He set Luke up on the back stretch and dove right under him.
You got Delana Hodge, who just moved in the second spot, getting under Luke in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Delana's car looks like it's a fast car as always, and she's got about 8 car lengths to make up here with plenty of time. She's got 22 laps of racing yet to go. Looks like Conover's falling back to the 4th spot with Luke Riffle is now being separated quite a distance between his car and Delana Hodge. Delana is making up a little ground every lap. She gets a little bit closer to Gavin Boschel. We were commenting earlier, Ryan, about how much I think Delana has improved this year. She's won a lot of races. She just seems like she's more comfortable driving the cars this year, and I think she does a great job.
Yes.
Now we got a spin out in turn 1. Looks like Conover spins entering turn 1. Tyler Conover with a spin to bring out another caution.
Conover was going into turn 1 right on Luke's bumper and came into turn 1. Actually hit Luke from behind and got loose and just spun out. Went right over the rumble strips.
Yeah, if you hit somebody's bumper on an angle, it'll mess up your car in terms of the way you have it positioned on the track.
We were talking to, I think it might have been Leif, about there's a lot of contact, a lot of bumper contact in some of these competitive races. Do you, obviously when you're on somebody's bumper and you're going straight, that's one thing, but you ever get nervous if somebody's riding your bumper and they ride on your bumper when you're trying to make a turn? You think maybe if they just overstep their bounds, they're going to spin you out?
Well, you can't really be thinking that. You got to be thinking on what you're doing and hitting your marks, because otherwise, if you're thinking about what's going on behind you, you're not going to be doing what you need to do to win the race.
So it's what's in front of you and everything, and you try to make sure of course, you're always in front, Ryan.
Whenever I'm behind somebody, I try and act like as if nothing is going on behind me. I try and pretend that there's no one behind me, as if I were running last, and I just don't worry about it.
Boschel has got about a half a car length lead over Delana Hodge, but she is right there ready to pounce all over Gavin if he makes a slight mistake. Riffle is passed by Conover. He drops to the rear of the field. So with 12 laps to go, you got Delana Hodge battling Gavin Boschel at the start-finish line, about a half a car length. Hodge dives low in turn 1 and 2, creeps up to almost to his bumper, but Gavin looks like a little bit more strength coming off the turn and is able to separate himself about 2 car lengths at the start-finish line. 9 laps to go with Gavin Boschel out in front. Hodge still trying to make up that difference, but now it's about a 5 car length lead for Boschel with 7 laps to go. Now it's 6 laps to go. It's almost like Hodge is kind of settled in, and that's maybe all her car's got for today. And Boschel is, if he can ride out these last 5 laps, could have a win here in the junior animal race. I'm a little bit surprised at how Luke Riffle is kind of fallen off from starting on the pole to just really he's kind of fallen away from the other 3 cars. He's about a half a lap from being lapped by Gavin Bochelle. Bochelle's lead is stretching out about a half a car length every lap. So the white flag lap, and there's the checker flag for Gavin Bochelle, picks up the win.
Hang on just a minute.
And Delana Hodge spins out in the backstretch. So Gavin picks up the win with Delana Hodge taking second spot with Tyler Conover in third, and Luke Riffle finishing fourth. That was another one of the very competitive classes we have here, Alec, at NCQMA, and all four of those drivers, as you can tell, they're all good drivers and great cars. And Gavin also does some dirt track racing at the local track here in Salisbury, and he does pretty well there too. So
he came from all the way in the back to finish first.
Yeah,
he started dead last.
Started fourth on the field, which was outside the second row, and was able. He kind of, I think he drove a smart race. He kind of waited for his opportunities, and
he pounced on it.
Yeah, and Luke, I don't know if Luke's car was just not handling right, but he just kind of backed up after he was passed by Delana Hodge.
Yeah, we've come out here a few times with Gavin's cars and helped him pass and get his line down, so I'm glad to see that practice paying off.
Well, if he learned anything from Ryan Rebko, it's how to pass and how to stay up front, because I've seen you do that quite a bit.
Thank you.
Matter of fact, we miss you out here with your winning streaks and lapping the fields. You know, that was always fun. It wasn't fun for the competitors because they didn't have any chance of beating you. But now, how do your late model career? Obviously, it's a whole different ball of wax racing big cars.
Yes.
The first time you stepped in the car and got on the starting grid, were you nervous?
I mean, either way, you're nervous before really any race, but it's really not a getting hurt nervous, or it's more worried about wanting to do well, like wanting to finish up front, just not wanting to finish in the back and all that. I'm nervous about getting wrecked and then my points being messed up or something like that. And you just have that nervousness. But it seems like once you get out on the track, it just all goes away.
How do you think the other drivers, who all of them have, I'm sure, a lot more experience, how have they accepted you as a young competitor?
Well, I haven't really torn up any parts yet or wrecked anybody yet, so they've liked me so far. A guy actually chased me down after the race and said, "You're coming back, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna run at this track." That was at Motor Mile. Mm-hmm. That's probably one of my favorites. Really nice facility and everything. I've been to Motor Mile, South Boston, which is another magnificent track, and Hickory's good too.
Mm-hmm. So when you're racing these older gentlemen, I suppose it makes you feel good to know that you're racing against a lot of experience, and you hold your own on the track. I mean, you don't just roll over and get out of the way. You race well out there.
Yes. My third race, we finished 11th. We were probably going for a top 5. We were going to be fast, but the guy in front of me missed a shift, and then I slid down to miss him, and the guy behind me hit me. And when we got back to the shop and my crew chief tore down the car, he said it was so messed up that he was surprised I was able to hold on to it.
Wow.
I mean, I was going around the corner sideways. And
I was talking to your mom this morning, and she was talking about how they'll tell the people that, you're a young driver, you may have trouble shifting, and a veteran in front of you missed a shift, and you have to avoid that.
Oh, yeah. My crew chief had some stuff to say about that.
Now, I know here when you race, families, moms and dads, grandparents, they get pretty intense. It's really but yes. How do they do at the late model races?
I actually think it's a lot more laid back. You're not in a hurry to get in your car. They just want, so long as everybody just wants to race and have a good time there. I mean, you'll be walking down through the pits and somebody will offer you barbecue. I mean, it's just a great environment. I like it. Well,
I think I know that we've talked plenty of times about your ambitions to drive the bigger cars and to go as far as you can go in racing. And I've always been impressed with your attitude and your just the way you carry yourself. And I think any car owner out there would be well advised to become associated with Ryan Rebko, because he's a class gentleman. And I really enjoyed the year of covering you in quarter midgets. And every time we talked, I've seen him when he was actually disappointed because somebody wrecked you. But you know what? He didn't. It wasn't like I'm going to throw my helmet or I'm going to kick the garbage can. It was like, yeah, you just take it and it rolls off your shoulder and you come back and try to win the next race.
Thank you.
And I think that's that kind of attitude and that kind of mentality will get you a long ways with your competitors. And I think you told me when you first approached this racing, you knew you were going there to learn, that you weren't going to walk in there and beat your chest like I'm Ryan Revco.
Mm-hmm.
I won 150 quarter midget races, because those guys don't care if you won a quarter midget race because they're it's a lot different.
Yeah, I'm not about to go in there and brag about.
And I'm sure you
learn
learn something every time you go on a track watching these guys. I'm sure.
Yes. Believe it or not, if you want to do well in racing, I've learned that if you watch good drivers' YouTube videos on YouTube in cars, like I thought I was passing the right way or trying to pass. I'm not. I wasn't doing it the right way, and I'm just not used. It was I was trying to pull up next to him, be side by side with him going into the corner, but as it turns out, it's not like here. You have to kind of work around him.
And see, that's something else that impressed me about Ryan. He's a student of racing. He's learning. He knows that there's a better way to do what he's trying to do, so he goes and studies it. And see, I think approaching the racing the way you are, I just can't help but believe you're going to be successful, because you analyze and you figure out it's not just about brute force and get out there and shove your way around the track. It's about doing things the right way. And
you got to have finesse.
And I think... And I think that other drivers, whether it's at South Boston or Motor Mile or Hickory, they're going to see that in you, and they're going to really respect how you're racing. So,
thank you.
We got another race getting ready to take the track. This is the senior animal with Hunter Hutchins in car number 1, and Levi Riffle from the Riffle Brothers Racing is in car number 2. You know what the good thing is about a 2-car race? You can't finish any worse than second.
Exactly.
Now, we had a 1-car race last year with Sam Hatfield. He had to finish on his feet. He broke a wheel coming, and he ran around the track with the checker flag. You remember that, Ryan?
I remember the pictures. I want to say that was that race that we had that was on both of our dad's birthday. They share a birthday, same date,
and
everything. Same year, everything.
Wow.
And both of us got all 3 wins, so everyone was happy. I mean, they did everything. They had like a banner up here and all that. It was pretty cool. I think my dad has that banner in our shop. There were 2 things. I think my dad has one of them hung in the race shop.
Levi Riffle goes underneath Hunter Hutchins. He's going to have a crossover. Nope, Hutchins backs out.
Looks like Hutchins got into the rumble strips and got a little loose coming out of turn 2. And that just gave Levi a huge lead.
Yeah, once Levi gets out in front, obviously Ryan being out in front and away from cars gives you the advantage of being able to hit your marks. And, I mean, it's probably a lot better. And you have plenty of experience driving out front, but versus being back in a field of 3 or 4 cars, I'm sure it's a lot easier to be the leader.
I mean, there's really no spot that there's no pressure, but if you are able to see the whole field, there's certainly not as much pressure if you see all that, if you see the field.
Now, I remember a race last year I was telling Alec about. It was a young man by the name of John Michael Repco.
Yep.
Showed his brother a thing or two on the racetrack and actually beat you in that race.
My axle was bent.
No, see, he's always got an excuse.
Yeah, I was in a wreck right over there.
But he was in a wreck. But you could tell he was trying his darndest to get up there, and John Michael would sail off in that corner and just keep right on going. It was a great race.
My axle was bent, car's fault.
I'd blame the crew chief. You should have saw that before he sent you out.
Yeah.
So it looks like Levi's got about a half a track lead here with this senior animal race between Riffle and Mr. Hunter Hutchins. Hunter spins out in turn 4.
He just got loose.
It looks like, I think his car may be a little bit tight because his left side's picking up. And then in order to correct that, I think that's what's getting him loose.
But that's kind of an advantage because he was a half a lap down.
Yeah.
Now he's going to line up on Levi's bumper, right? On the restart.
The rear end of the field.
I mean, in this case, it's just 2 cars, so you spin out because he is still on the lead lap. It's kind of a bummer for the guy that's leading by half a lap that all of a sudden you spin out. Now I'm going to come back on your bumper, and I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So we got 20 laps to go here. This is the first caution. Looks like restart. Obviously, 2-car field. We'll have Levi starting in front, and Hutchins hits the rumble strips again coming to the start. Gives Levi a chance to stretch his lead to about a 15-car length lead. He's now,
like Ryan said, his left front tire's coming off the ground. Hunter's left front tire's coming off the ground, and he's getting some pretty. That tire's getting up there pretty high.
I'm not sure. It may be that he doesn't have enough lead in the right side. Left side. Usually what happens when that happens is usually you don't have enough lead in it or you're too tight. We actually had a combination of the two in our 160. I think it was last club race, not the national event, but the club race. We were up on 2 wheels. We were fast, but it wasn't necessarily like if I were to cut it real sharp and pass somebody, I had to be really smooth when I passed them. Otherwise, there's a chance you flip over.
Levi has gained about just over a straightaway length on Hunter Hutchins.
yeah, Hunter's car obviously it's not balanced very well, and his left side's. And like Ryan says, I've seen them before come out of there and get tapped, and all of a sudden they're airborne, and then you got cars up against the wall upside down.
And he spun out again.
Exact same spot. You can almost take a picture and lay it on top of each other. His car's sitting the same way in the same spot on the track.
He's coming on. He came off of turn 4, and
Hunter actually tried out a Bandolera for the same guy that I ran Mini Outlaws for. He ran the shootout and beginner bandits, and according to Bo, he finished 6th, a couple inches from 5th, which is a trophy spot.
So he's driving for Bo Beaker's
yes,
on his
and
car?
Mini Outlaw. I think it's number 03 and then a letter after it, but I don't remember what the letter is.
We were complaining about the clouds, and now the sun's coming out, Alec. I prefer the clouds to be over. It's getting hot out here now.
I know, I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
And I'm sure you're going to be hot in that car, aren't you, with that fire suit on and the helmet and all that?
Yes.
So Levi again with 5 laps to go
5.
is looks like he's pretty much got this under control. He's about 10 car lengths ahead of Hunter Hutchins. See Levi's grandfather over at the start-finish line with his stopwatch timing Levi's laps.
I remember back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean 2012 when we had the old rumble strips. If your car picked up the left side like Hunter's is doing, you were going to be rocket fast because you could go over all the rumble strips with ease, and it was just... I mean, pretty much all the track records except for like World Formula and the powerful stuff are sealed because of the rumble strips. Maybe the edge will be there in 4 years, but I kind of doubt that those will be touched within the next 2 years.
Levi was talking about that exact same thing earlier today about the new rumble strips take about a tenth or so off your laps, and all these laps
sometimes more than that
were set track records. That was back in 2012 before these bigger rumble strips.
Makes me wish that I had maybe gone a little harder those laps. Maybe got a better lap time, but...
So Levi Riffle picks up another victory with the red rookies lined up. Now, Alec, this is Alec's first time watching a quarter midget race, Ryan, so he's been impressed. He's having a good time, but, you know... We're getting ready to see the red rookies, and obviously you're going to see a lot slower cars, Alec, but some of these red rookie races are really fun to watch, really interesting. Mm-hmm. These are first-year drivers, and they're learning how to get around this track. They're learning what caution flag is, what a red flag is, what this means, what that means. And some of them really do well, and some of them, they're just so involved that I don't think they have like tunnel vision. They don't see what's going on around them.
Right.
Do you remember when you were a rookie racing here?
Yes.
Were you really good?
I mean, it was. I mean, we ran a local event. Jordan Smithson. He used to be one of the top drivers in the heavy division. My first race, I raced against him and finished right on his bumper in second. It was a caution-free race, and in the second one, it was a USAC national event. And I remember there were 5 of us. One of them flipped right off the bat and didn't finish. Then 2 of them got together and didn't finish. And then I went to pass a kid in 4, and then he came down on me. He didn't finish. And then I was the last one left, so I won the race.
So the last man standing wins the race, I guess.
I only ran 3 races, and then there was a national event in Metro Atlanta that I ran. I was leading with like 2 to go, and then I got knocked out of the way and finished 3rd. So
wow.
I had an interesting rookie career.
Well, I know it's paid off for you because you became one of the top drivers that's ever raced at this racetrack. There's been some great drivers come through here that are making a name for themselves.
Ryan Blaney is now running. I think he's leading the championship, actually, Camping World Trucks.
Leading the trucks. He's done well in nationwide. I think he won a nationwide race, and he's actually competitive in the cup level. I think he actually qualified for a race that Dave didn't qualify for. So, but Ryan is he was here for one of our Thursday night shows, and I got to talk to him. And he's such a great young man, such a gentleman. I enjoy talking to these young drivers who haven't quite yet figured out that they're stars, and they're down to earth, and it's fun to talk to them. Now we got the Red Rookies. This is going to be an interesting race. We got Cale Ruthenbeck on the pole in car number 1.
I'm going to go see if I can steal a chair.
You do that.
All right.
You come right back when you get it. And starting in second is going to be the number 2 car is Marcus Everson. And then Katie Bug Yunchuk is going to be starting 3rd in her pink helmet. And starting alongside Katie is car number 4, who was our guest a few moments ago, Mr. Will Beaupre, will be starting in the 4th position, and Paige Robinson is going to be starting shotgun on the field in this 5-car lineup. So Paige, being a Red Rookie driver, Alec, and it's her very first race, she automatically will start in the rear. Mr. Repko has come back into the I wouldn't call this air conditioned. Would you call it air conditioned, Alex?
No. No.
There's a breeze, but it's not air conditioned.
Yeah. But this is going to be the Red Rookie race, and they run 20 laps in their A features. And I know that Katie has won, I think, a couple times in her short career. I know Beaufrey won last week, the last time we raced, which is the middle of July, I think it was. I don't know how much experience Paige Robinson has. I think, do you know Paige Robinson? Is that Joey's sister?
I've been absent for so long.
That's right. You've been good. See, he's gone on this bigger and better thing.
I was about to say, he's a big shot now.
So they're going to get these rookies lined up for a 20-lap shootout here at the NCQMA. Looks like they lined up pretty quickly here. It's a nice, tight lineup, just the way the... Okay, now if they can maintain that lineup around to the cone, they'll be good to go. Starters back on the starter stand with the hand on the switch, and the green flag is in the air. Green light comes on the track, and the race is underway. And right away, Katie Bug Yunchuk dives to the inside right in turn 1 and goes from 3rd to 1st right off the bat. So she got under Cale Ruthenbeck, and when Katie gets out front, I don't think there's anybody going to catch her because she's a very smooth driver. And we got a battle with...
I just saw Katie on the straightaway turn her head to the left.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So she's trying to see. Beaufry is about to get around Ruthenbeck. He does get around him in turn 2, coming down the backstretch. Now he sets his sights,
again.
catching Katie Bug. About a half of a straightaway advantage for Yunchuk, with Beaufry trying to narrow that gap. Ruthenbeck in 3rd, Paige Robinson in 4th, and Marcus Everson in the 5th and final position. Doesn't appear that the margin is shrinking any between Yunchuk and Beaufry. What may have an effect on this race, Ryan, is if they catch the tail end of the field and start having to negotiate lap traffic.
Oh, yes.
Particularly in the red rookies, where you don't have that much experience in passing cars. And I know
sometimes that can result in crashes.
Yes, it can. It did in this race, on that last race we had here. And Beaufry said that's because I think it was he got in a wreck early because he was over anxious, but he was able to come back and win. But now Yunchuk did a great job of passing Paige Robinson out of turn 3 and 4. Perfect.
Got right up on her bumper.
And then went down below, and very clean pass. Took the corner really, really nicely. And now Beaufry comes around Paige Robinson.
With 5 to go.
Looks like Katie Bug is she's still out front, but that lead is down to about
lead,
3 car lengths. And I think she gave up some time on this last lap. She kind of lost her marks here in the backstretch and kind of weaved back and forth, and that gave Beaufry a chance to make up some ground. We're going to come up on another.
Yeah, she's got 2 to go now.
I think she may have it.
She should be able to, as long as she don't have to catch that car in last place. Now Beaufry's
making
all of
a
a
move.
sudden he gets on the very last lap. Beaufry tries to make some ground up, and he gets not going to be able to get around her. Katie Bug drove really smart there. She was on the bumper of the lapped car and was able to cross the finish line in first place. So another win for Katie Yunchuk.
Katie did like you said, she did a really good job of sticking to her line. And even though, who was it that was catching up to her?
Will Beaufry was trying to.
Beaufry?
Beaufry tried to catch her and just didn't have enough to get to her. And if there'd have been a couple more laps, which they always say, give me 2 more laps, I could have beat you.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting because she was behind a lap car at the start-finish line, and Beaufry was sitting there just waiting to pounce all over it, but it was a checker flag, so it didn't make any difference. So Miss Katie Bug Yunchuk, who is the daughter of our sponsor of our racing coverage, Flash Products.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chris Yunchuk, that's her dad, going over to give her congratulations.
Finishing order for your Red Rookie A main event. First place, Katie Yunchuk. Second place, Will Beaufry. Third place, Kyle Ruthenbeck. Fourth place, Marcus Everson. Fifth place, Paige Robinson.
Can I see that order?
Yeah.
Katie, Will, Kale, please report to tech.
So I probably need to leave after Senior Honda to go down for Light World Formula.
Mr. Repko will have to go down and get ready for his next race here in just a little bit. We're going to have the Junior Honda race coming up, which also has a lot of talented young drivers in that field.
This race is always fun to watch. There's just so much action in it and everything in passing. Sometimes it can be a wreck fest, and that's one thing I'll miss about being in Senior Honda was if there were a lot of wrecks in it, since it's always a huge field. There's just so many cars. It's just always a good race.
But see, when you race, Ryan, you're always first or second, and the wrecks happen behind you. So you had an advantage over some of the people. But I know what you mean, because when you get these 8 or 9 car fields at some of these big events, man, if one kid messes up, it's kind of like the Talladega effect. Everybody gets bunched up and wrecked, and so the ones who are out front and can be in front of all the action is a big advantage. Okay, now we got more clouds coming. The sun is behind this kind of a dark-looking cloud, but I think we're going to be okay. We just completed our 4th of 10 races, so we got the Junior Honda race coming up. It's got 9 cars in this field, so it's going to be a pretty crowded track for this Junior Honda race. Starting on the pole is number 1, Braden Allen. Top of the outside of the front row is Turner Wyan in number 2. In car number 3, starting 3rd is Luke Riffle. Starting 4th is Mason DeJarnett. Starting 5th is Gavin Boschel, who's already won a race earlier this afternoon. And Delana Hodge will be starting 6th. Mason Woodward starts 7th, and Tyler Conover 8th. And Tyler's little brother, Cody Conover, Cody Bear, is going to be starting 9th. I think this may be Cody's first junior Honda race, I believe.
I think Tyler's run it for a while, but
I think this is Cody's first.
I think so long as he didn't run it while I was gone, I think that, yeah, it is his. Because y'all rained out last race, right?
We rained out the fun races rained out, and the week before we did batch qualifying. We got all but 2 classes qualified, and then it rained out.
Yeah, because I was at South Boston, and John Michael texted me and said he qualified 3rd fastest, and he was really quick and all this, and he probably could have been faster, but he got caught behind somebody and all this, and I was like, whoa. And then the week he's fast, it rains out. So I'm hoping he does pretty good in senior Honda.
So we'll be getting those cars pushed out here in just a few moments here and get this 5th race. It's moving along pretty well. A lot of times, and Alec, you haven't been here when we have some of these rollovers or some crashes. You have extended red flag periods, and that just drags on. Of course, the first thing you got to do when there's a wreck is go to the driver's, make sure the driver's safe and is okay and not hurt. And luckily for us here at NCQMA, in a year and a half I've been covering it, it's been a pretty clean record. I mean, it looks pretty. The wrecks look pretty horrendous, but for the most part.
You weren't here when John Michael had his big one.
When was that? 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was like right before you got here. It was bad. He must have rolled like 7 or 8 times, head slammed the pavement, and then another car hit him. And he had like a level 4, which is the highest possible concussion you can get.
Wow.
It's probably the worst thing that could happen in a quarter midget. The car was totaled. We saved the body panels off of it. That's why it looks like the same car, but it's not the same car. Everything's been swapped out.
So the cars are being pushed out from the hot chute, taking the track. Nolan Allison almost got run over, pushing one of the cars all the way up to the to turn 2 entrance to the track off the pit road.
Somebody's got to go get Tyler. Is anybody on
Tyler
the
Conover is dead in the water here and turn at the beginning of the backstretch. As you enter the track, his car quit on him right at the corner. So now Chad Allen, one of the corner workers, and Craig Wyan is coming out to make sure the other cars know that we have an issue in the corner.
I just noticed something. Whenever the cars go out, my chair starts to vibrate.
Huh.
It's actually kind of cool.
We talk about the safety features of all these cars and how they're built. I got to admire these corner workers. They're just dads or granddads out there, or grandmothers or mothers, work each corner, and they put their lives on the line. These cars going every which way when they're trying to help some driver that's spun out or his car has died on the track or something. So
I think it's the top 4 in qualifying have to do that. Wait, no, never mind. Paper numbers 1 through 4. I think that's why everyone wants fast time. That way that way they don't have to corner work. That's the main reason everyone wants fast time.
Now, they invert the top 5 in qualifying? Was that what
Yes, I started. We don't have a top 5 car count in World Formula, so I started 3rd, which is last on the field since we inverted, and I start 5th in 160. I think I got fast time, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I guess if I was starting 5th, I got fast time, but the way they announced it made it sound kind of weird.
I hate to bring this to you, but if you look at the lineup,
oh, it's been changed.
Beside your name, beside your name is the word old. So welcome to the club, Ryan. They've already ditched you here at NCQMA. You're just an old guy, Ryan Repko.
Okay.
But you are starting 5th in the light 160.
I don't mind that. I'm the one with the late model.
That's right. You have all the experience. He's the big timer.
He's a big guy.
So now we got now, Alec. This is going to be fun. There's 9 cars on this little track, and
this looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
I think the most they ever run is 10, isn't it, Ryan? If they
Yes, 10.
In the Nationals, they'll run 10.
The most fun that you can possibly have here is when you have a rocket fast car and it's just better than everybody else's, and you start last. That is the most fun.
You get to pass everybody.
That you will have here. I mean, so long as nobody wrecks you, it's fun. But, I've done that a lot at the summer series, and that's always just a fun race because you get experience from all different starting positions. I mean, usually there's somebody with a really dominant car, and then you've got the car that's second place, and then you got the third place. Now stuff will happen, and they won't finish there, but you always have those people with the faster cars, and it's just always... saved it.
We've already got some spin outs and some contact.
Everywhere.
We got number 4 here sitting in turn number 2. That's Mason DeJarnett. So before we get a complete lap of green flag racing underway, we have a spin out. Now, since they took the green, will they line up in single file now on the restart?
It's kind of hard to say because they didn't complete a lap, but I think so.
I mean, they did that.
I think they have to wreck on the front stretch in order for that to happen, because at the national event, we hadn't even taken the green yet. We were in the middle of 3 and 4, and my chain got knocked off by whoever was behind me at that time. I don't even remember. And I think they lined them up double file because they didn't get the start in, but I never did get back out there.
So we still have Braden Allen shown as the race leader on the track with Luke Riffle in second, Gavin Bochelle third, Delana Hodges fourth. They put DeJarnett in fifth if that lineup is going to hold. But was he spun out, or did he just lose it on his own?
I'm not really sure.
I heard some contact right below our vantage point.
Yes.
We're sitting right here at the exit of turn 1 and 2.
I think that he, and if anyone else, if somebody spun him, I think they'll put he and whoever in the back. But I'm not really sure how they're doing this right now.
They're moving somebody up 2 spaces. Looks like Tyler Conover in car number 8. Now number 7, Mason Woodward.
I think we're getting back in line. Number order, I'm not really sure. This is kind of confusing.
Yeah, they've got up front, they've still got Allen and Riffle and Bochelle and Hodge. Now the number 2 car of Turner Wyan will be in. I think the corner worker gave him a number 2, like you need to get in second. So I believe they are going to line the cars up.
I think it's single file number order.
1, 2, 3. I don't know where number 4 is going to end up. He actually brought the caution out, but they're going to put him back in 4th. So they're going back to the original lineup.
I think they're just redoing it. I don't know. Maybe the caution was out for something else. I don't really know.
I think they're going to give them a restart under single file, and the starter has given them the signal 1 to go.
I bet it was the start because the 7 got loose, and they probably called it back on the start. Oh, I don't
Now
really...
they've thrown the caution on the restart.
Yeah, that one wasn't much better.
But they've got to remember to stay above that yellow line when they cross the start-finish line. You cannot pass a car before you cross the start-finish line.
And you got to stay nose to tail without turning anybody.
Chief Steward Brett Anderson is pointing to the restart line and telling them not to give it the gas till you get to this cone. Mm-hmm. So they're lined back up with Allen leading the field with 1 lap to go, and there's Cody Bear running to the back of Mason Woodward.
The top 2 are fresh out of rookies, so they must be they've graduated recently, and they're doing pretty good, or at least I think recently. I hadn't really been here.
Yeah, this is
it's a lot of beating and banging. I'm just
Brady Allen's first year in the junior Honda. He's actually changed cars. He's driving a car that I think
Gavin isn't happy with the people behind him because he was shaking his fists, which I don't necessarily blame him.
They're going to give him the green flag on this start. Looks like there's enough space between everybody was above the yellow line, but
there goes Luke.
Luke Riffle dives below
That was a good
Turner
move.
Wyan to take second place away from Turner. Alum is about a 5-car length lead across the start-finish line in the opening lap to this 35-lap feature. So it's Alum and Luke Riffle separating themselves from the field. About an 8-car length between Luke
There goes
and
Gavin under
Gavin
Turner.
Boschel goes under Wyan, and Atlanta Hodge follows Boschel around.
Gavin's on the move. He's gone from 5th to 3rd.
Tyler Conover goes up to 5th place. Turner Wyan is dropping back as the race up front is tightening up.
Yeah, Luke has brought that back down to about a car length, half car length.
Now he's right up on his
And
bumper.
he's right up on him.
Yeah, like 3 feet
See if-
distance.
he
Comes
just hit the
rumble
rumble strip.
See if he can be patient enough to.
He's still got time. He's got 26 laps to go in this thing, which is a ton.
But they got to be careful up front because Hodge and Boschel are not going to sit back there very long. They're just.
Oh no, Gavin's on the move. He's closing up to Luke's back bumper. There's about a 4-car length distance between them, but it was like a half a track.
Now
As
we got
we've
to spin out by number 7, Mason Woodward. Spins out at the middle of the backstretch.
That's what Gavin was wanting right there. That way he could close up to the leaders.
That's what would be discouraging if you have a pretty good lead and all of a sudden someone spins out and all that everybody's bunched back up. So we got to go right back to a bumper-to-bumper restart.
Yeah.
But looked like Alum has been doing a good job holding his own up front, keeping Riffle at least almost a car length behind him. Looks like Luke gets in the corners pretty good and catches up to the back of Alum's bumper, but just can't get enough momentum to get around him in the turns.
Now, Ryan, explain to me why Luke has a flat, the back of his car is flat, whereas everybody else seems to be it's pointed.
I have those. They're the back Nerf bars. Some of them have them flat and some of them have them pointed. The original design was pointed, the shape around the kale cone, but over the years they've learned that if you have those, it's easier to be spun on starts.
Right.
So now people are making them square-like. So we invested in those, and we haven't been turned lately. So
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, used to you would want to almost get them sideways using that, but
Luke Riffle goes to the front.
Oh, Gavin hardened the wall.
Now, will Luke maintain that lead? Well, of course, Alum has spun out.
The leader's in the wall, so I think.
No, Luke went around.
Luke got
Yeah,
around him.
but the person he'll maintain it because the person he passed is now in the wall, I think. So long as he didn't cause that. I don't think he caused that. I think Gavin went to pass him, and then the one just didn't know he was there. Tried to cross up the Luke, and then that didn't end very well. I think something's wrong with Gavin's car. They're going to have to get a dolly and take it over there. Yeah, I think radius rod's messed up. Yeah, I agree with Kent. Slow down.
Yeah, the corner workers that I said earlier, they take their lives in their own hands out there. They have no protection for these cars. And
I'm not so sure why they don't red flag them.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering is why they don't red flag.
They're taking Gavin over the fence.
They pick Gavin's car up, set it over on pit road, and
they're probably going to have some time if the restarts are like what they were.
Brady Allen is being carted off on the four-wheel dolly to the...
That's a shame because Gavin was flying around
Yes,
that track.
he was.
He had probably the best car out there, but now that there's stuff broken, I don't know if there's a spindle broken or what, but it's just, you never know now. Now it could be the second slowest. You just never know, after hard hits like that. I mean, usually you can hit the wall and be fine, but going under it, I just don't see it. It's just bad. He's going to have to get his tires cleaned, too, because there's all kinds of junk under there.
So now we have... The rule is after you get the lineup reset, the local rule is you get 5 laps. I like to get your car fixed. You drop back in and tail end of the field, and you're on the same lap they're on.
Huh.
Yes, it's actually... I think under caution we did the same thing in late models.
Putting new tires on...
But if you come in under green, you can go back out, but your lap's down.
Yeah,
it's only worth it if you're going for the experience.
Right.
They're putting new tires on Gavin's car, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that was a case of Allen was on the outside and probably didn't recognize the fact that because Gavin had a lot of momentum coming around on that corner, and when they came out of turn 4, they were together. And once you hook the car beside you, it's lights out because you're going to go straight into the wall.
Yes, that's the thing about open wheel. You lock tires and then you're
pretty much done for.
Headed wherever it takes you.
Wherever the momentum takes you is where you're going to end up. And if you look over the pit lane, Alex, you got all the. It's not just the.
Yeah, everybody helps with the cars.
It's not just that's Delana Hodges' dad, who is also out there racing. He's helping get Gavin Boschel back on the track. They all chip in because in the grand scheme of things, it's about getting these kids on the track, having fun, and learning about racing. And they don't really pay attention to who's winning, who's losing. Although they all want to win. So Allen's back on the track also. He'll come around and get on the tail end of the field behind Boschel.
That is crazy, though, how they were both into an accident, and they're right back out there.
Yeah. But as Ryan says, sometimes you'll see immediately if something happened that, like he said, go from the fastest car to the slowest car because you got something bent, something's out of whack you don't know about.
Be interesting to see what Gavin's car does here with these new tires.
So the green flag is in the air with Luke Riffle being almost overtaken by Delana Hodge. She had ideas of dropping below, but Luke turned down in front of her and there was no contact. So it's Luke Riffle out front with Delana Hodge about a half a car length, and she is followed closely by Tyler Conover. Riffle, Hodge, and Conover out front separated themselves by about a dozen car lengths ahead of the next 3 cars of Mason DeJarnett, Turner Wyand, and Cody Bear Conover. I think you were right, Ryan. If you look at Gavin and Brady Allen's cars, they don't have the same speed that they had.
I think Gavin's fast. He just got behind some slower traffic.
There goes Delana for the lead right around Luke Riffle, and Luke's going to pass him.
Crossover move.
Yep.
And now Delana's going to repay the favor.
We got a race up here.
Now we got the 3-car battle between Delana, Tyler Conover, and Luke Riffle. So now it's Delana out front. They've shuffled Luke back to 3rd place with Tyler Conover all over the bumper of Delana Hodge. They're coming up on some.
Luke's got the inside run.
Oh, now we got a spin out in turn 2. Cars coming full speed up behind him. Everybody pays attention.
Green.
Still green. They didn't stop on the track.
And that just gave advantage to Gavin because Gavin just got around.
Luke got back around Gavin, and Tyler is back behind Gavin also. Looks like Delana is about a half of the track ahead of the nearest competitor, which is now Gavin Boschel, who just overtook Luke Riffle in the backstretch. Riffle dives below in turn 1 and 2, comes out ahead of Gavin Boschel. With 9 laps to go, it's all Delana Hodge, who started from the 6th position. She's lapped a couple of cars in the meantime, and she's approaching the 6th place car. But the real battle is between Luke Riffle and Gavin Boschel for 2nd and 3rd. And Gavin had ideas of getting around Luke on turn 4, but thought better of it and did not create any contact. Luke has stretched out his lead but to about 5 car lengths in the 2nd position. But Delana Hodge is on cruise control. She's a clear track, not anybody in front of her she's going to have to contend with 3 laps to go. She's got nobody from behind pressuring her. So there's going to be a close call with Luke Riffle lapping Mason Woodward, but just some incidental contact, and Luke keeps running. So we get the checker flag with Delana Hodge pulling out the win from the 6th starting position. That was some great racing with Delana Hodge, Gavin Boschel, Luke Riffle, and Tyler Conover. And Ryan, you know those 4 names are names to be reckoned with at this track. I mean, they're all capable of winning any given Saturday. And that was another another great race, and I'm still impressed by how Delana has been able to come out this year and just race her way to the front and pick up some wins.
That was an awesome race, I would have to say, especially with that double, triple, whatever Ford crossovers there in a row between the top three leaders. That was a pretty good race.
I really enjoy when they have those big fields because you do see a lot of really neat passing, and obviously you've got, when you get a field of 9 cars, you're going to have a variety of talent levels, and different quality of cars just because you got so many cars. But just as they say, cream always rises to the top, and you'll get those good drivers. And if Gavin Bochelle had not been in an accident, I think he and Delana would have battled to the finish line.
Although I think Gavin had a better car, so he would have probably have been up there, I think.
I think he would have battled Delana. I'm not sure. I've seen other cars this year battle Delana, and she manages to come out on top. So, I don't know. We'll see. So that's going to complete the first half of our racing card today. That's the 5th of the 10-race schedule. And the winner was Delana Hodge, who won by about a half a lap.
Junior Honda A main event, Delana Hodge.
The sun's trying to peek out, but it's also cloudy.
The sun's trying to peek out over top of us because we got the vortex going, and then back over across the way over the trees, you got nothing but like dark blue, almost black clouds.
We have Mr. Levi Riffles come up to the booth. When Mr. Ryan Repko leaves, we're going to have Levi Riffle on the air. We have drivers just all over the place. I didn't say you had to leave, Ryan. I just said, Levi, you've been out on the track racing, qualifying and whatnot. What's your opinion of what you've seen so far with what's going on the track?
Like I said earlier, as the day goes on, the track's going to gain more rubber, and my verdict was right, and the track's gained a lot more rubber, and it's a lot more stickier.
Okay, now I know how to stop my car.
So you just gave Repko the information he was waiting for.
He thinks he set it up right.
Oh, so you've probably told him just the opposite of what's really going on.
We got the special tires, we got the special hubs, we got the special axles, we got everything.
As long as you don't get your tires from Bowman Gray, you'll be okay.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Are they like sticky or something? Okay, never mind.
So the rain is held off. We've got 5 races in. That was an interesting race with now your little brother. He had him covered for a little bit. Then he got into some racing with Delana and Gavin, and it was kind of a interesting race.
Yeah, well, he went a little crazy there, but I guess it all played out, and he ended up finishing second, so not too bad.
Ryan, 8th place, Brady Alum.
Trying to hear the
9th place, Mason Woodward.
Mason Woodward got 9th place.
Now, do you ever get nervous about seeing your brother race?
Yeah, I'm flipping lap cards, and I'm just a shaking. I'm more nervous for my brother than I am me because, I don't want to see him do anything bad. He always wants to do good, but like I said, there's good days in racing and bad days in racing. But
well, I know that both you and Mr. Repko have younger brothers that race, and I've seen both of you cheer unbelievable for your brothers because I know it probably makes you feel good to see your little brother come out there and be able to win some races. And Luke he's come out of his shell this year. He's really been impressive.
Yeah, I try to teach him a lot, and I think he learns from me. I mean, my parents tell me that he does. He sits up in the stands and watches every race, and he's been doing that ever since he was 3. So, I think he's learned a lot from me, and he takes a lot from me. So I think that I should be right there for him.
Well, I know that it's always fun to watch all you guys race, and what's really interesting too is to watch your families on pit road, how they react. If you get into a wreck, or if you're half a lap ahead, they keep saying, "Don't spin out, don't do something stupid," and you're out there by yourself. Now you had a fairly uneventful senior animal win over Hunter Hutchins. Of course, with a 2-car field, there's not a whole lot of side-by-side racing because once the car gets out in front, but with the car handling good because you just kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, the car was great. the car was real touchy. It pushed a lot, but we learned a lot from that because the rubber and the track conditions have changed a lot, and the track conditions, the rubber has added up towards the track.
So it's getting a little bit more grip, a little stickier than it was earlier in the morning. So now we're going to have the senior Hondas, which will be a 35-lap A main event. And starting on the pole for this race will be car number 1, Nick Loden, and car number 2, Lucas Sipka. And the third is John Michael Repko. Connor Yunchuk will be starting 4th. And on row 3 is Alex Anderson inside, and on the outside, Joey Robinson. So who do you like in this race, Levi?
I really like Yunchuk, Loden, and Anderson. They all have fast cars. They all have great racing experience, so this is going to be a good one.
I know Loden and Yunchuk and Anderson, they've always been very competitive. Lucas Sipka, who had a good rookie year, he's still trying to get the handle on this competitive racing. I think seems like he does really well, but he hasn't been able to put together that real good finish yet. So I like to see Lucas do really well today.
Yeah, like I said, it's a big transition from rookie to junior Honda, senior Honda, or heavy Honda. A lot more competitive and a lot more seat time, a lot more racing.
So we've got number 6 car, Joey Robinson, just coming out of pit road, and he's going back to the pits. Don't know if he's got a chain problem or. And again, you've got all sorts of volunteers over there helping get him back on the track. You got Yunchuk, you've got Phil Curry, and another one of the parents that they're just determined to get these cars on the track so they can get some track time. And looks like Joey's under power. Looks like he's going to go.
Yeah, everybody around here and likes seeing people be successful and do good. So, everybody's going to pitch in.
And Robinson goes back off the track again. Went around behind the pit wall, and they're looking at the car, running over to a toolbox. So they're going to do now they got him lined up. They're giving him 5 laps before he's got to come back on the track. They're holding up the starter's holding up 5 fingers. Now he's going to give him the 4 to go. They really try to do as much as they can to make sure all the drivers have a chance to get back on the track. Yeah. And I think that's always a good thing. So we've got 3 laps to go. Now they got Robinson pushed off again down the pit road entrance to the track. Starters telling the drivers to slow down. So Joey will take the track and drop into the. He really didn't lose anything because he was going to start 6th anyway. So now they've got them lined up 2 by 2 with 3 rows of cars. They're going to get the green flag this time around. It's a good start with Loden taking the pole position to a lead of about 3-4 cars. A lot of bumping going on with John Michael Repko. There's a spin out by Connor Yunchuk. I think he had a little contact around coming off the front stretch, and
him and Lucas Sipka got together as I saw it. And
Connor was the rear end kind of exchanged places with the front end, and he was sitting on the track facing the wrong way. And obviously, as soon as the car begins spinning out here, they throw that caution flag, and now Connor will, unfortunately, I think he'll go to the rear of the field because he brought the caution out. So the restart will have Loden still in front. They're trying to get the field lined up. Might be some disagreement on who is second place. Looks like Alex Anderson is trying to wave somebody around him. He's sitting in the 3rd spot, but he's waving his arm out the side of his car. So I don't know if they did complete a green flag lap, so that they're happy with the lineup. They're going to restart with Loden, John Michael, and Alex Anderson in his top three, with Sipka and Joey Robinson will be shotgun on the field. Connor Yunchuk is fifth in this 6-car field. There goes Sipka around John Michael Repko. So up front, it's Loden and Anderson separating themselves from the third-place car. About a straightaway lead already for Nick Loden and Alex Anderson. Alex bobbles come out of turn 4, drops back about a car length behind Nick Loden. Loden is now he's being caught by Anderson on the start-finish line. He's up on his bumper. Alex Anderson dives under Nick Loden down the front stretch and takes the lead. Come out of turn 4. There is no crossover attempt, so Alex Anderson, now there's a, looks like Loden was attempting to make a crossover move.
As now Anderson's put a comfortable lead on Nick Loden. What a fast car he's got. Started from the 5th position.
That was a good move that Alex put on Nick, and he very patiently waited for his opportunity and got up on his bumper and then dove right below him. Anderson maintains about a 3-car length lead, and then Nick Loden running second, and then about a straightaway behind is Connor Yunchuk, who actually had to start. He started 5th, and he's made his way up to 3rd position. Connor's got a very fast car, but if you remember, before this race started, Mr. Riffle mentioned the name Conover, Loden, and Anderson as 3 tough competitors, and that's who's right now running 1, 2, and 3. With Anderson is now being challenged by Loden in turn 1 and 2. Loden drives below Anderson, and he takes the lead with 16 laps to go.
Anderson got loose, hit the bumps, coming out at 2.
So now we got Loden now extending his lead to about 6 car lengths, with Anderson in second, and rapidly approaching him is Connor Yunchuk. He's cutting that lead, that margin down to about 3-4 car lengths, and those 3 front runners are about to catch the tail end of the field. Joey Robinson. Robinson goes up high and allows the faster cars to dive under him, so the front 3 cars get around Robinson and maintain they're about a half a lap ahead of the 4th place car, which is Lucas Sipka. But right now it's all Nick Loden with Alex Anderson right in his tracks, with Connor Yunchuk behind Anderson. They're both between 1st and 2nd and 2nd and 3rd is about 2 car lengths. Hasn't been any real move by either one of the 2 cars that are following Loden. Now it looks like Yunchuk has picked up a little bit of speed in the corners. He is closing up the gap on Alex Anderson. He's about a car length behind at the start-finish line. We've got 4 laps to go. It's probably too little too late for Yunchuk and for Anderson. With 3 to go, this race should be all Nick Loden. We're going to get the white flag on this lap with 1 lap to go. Nick Loden crosses over start-finish line, followed by Alex Anderson and Connor Yunchuk. And the winner is going to be Nick Loden. He won from the pole. He had a good battle with Alex Anderson, but was able to, even though he was passed by Anderson during the race, he was able to retake the lead, and once he got the lead, it was all over. So first was Nick Loden, second was Alex Anderson, third was Connor Yunchuk, and I believe Lucas Sipka was 4th, with Repko 5th, and Joey Robinson. Now Joey also is relatively new to the senior Hondas. I believe he was this maybe his first race in senior Honda?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of good sportsmanship around here, as you may see in pictures. Everybody goes around the winner after the race is over and gives him a thumbs up or a good job or anything. They tell him good job and good luck right before the races.
Yeah, I've always noticed that as soon as somebody's climbed out of the car to win, all the competitors come over, and And it's like, I think it really shows that this is a real pretty tight-knit group of kids down here, and they all care for each other. And, yeah, they want to win, but if you win, then it's hats off to you. You beat me in, congratulations. And I think it teaches a lot about things beyond racing is what I look at it down here. Now we've got some pretty dark clouds again, but we also have sun trying to peek through, so we've only got 4 more races to go, and we might get a whole day of racing in if this rain will just hold off a little bit longer. Our next event is going to be the 25, I believe, laps for the Blue Rookies, and that's the Blue Rookies are the first class up from the very beginners, and these Blue Rookies are hoping to get their to earn their stripes so they can move up to a more competitive class even this year or at least next year. And these guys that run the Blue Rookies, there's some good talent in these Blue Rookie races. We got 4 cars in the field today. We got Jack Everson will be starting on the pole, and Dylan Thomas will be starting second, and starting third will be Thomas McDonough, and Nazar Rush will be starting fourth. And I happened to had a conversation with Mr. Rush's dad, Lonnie, because many years ago, Levi, before the Levi came on the world, Lonnie Rush drove at that time Craftsman trucks in NASCAR, and I had the privilege of being able to attend a lot of those races. My son was on one of the teams that traveled, and actually saw Lonnie race a lot, and we had a nice conversation about some of the names that I recognize. Somebody like a Ron Hornaday and a Jack Sprague. Those people that, of course, Hornaday is going to race till they put dirt over him. I mean, he's that kind of an individual. But those are what I call some really pure racers, and it was fun to watch those guys race back in the early days of the NASCAR Truck Series, the Mike Skinners and Tony Raines and the High Plains Drifter, Rick Corelli, who's a spotter now for Cup teams. Just a lot of great, way back there, a lot of great races. Bobby Hamilton Jr., just names that sometimes I go back and look at the old programs I got, and I look at these names, and wow, those, that's really neat how.
Bobby Hamilton Jr.
You remember?
AKA Spunky.
Yeah,
we used to call him Spunky all the time.
And a lot of kids are from NASCAR environments. Like Ernie Irvin's son, Jared Irvin, used to run here, and Jeff Burton's son, Harrison, used to run here. And Ryan Blaney also ran here.
So I think someday we're going to be watching the truck race on a Saturday afternoon. It's going to be in car number 3 or truck number 3, Levi Riffle from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a graduate of the NCQMA. Riffle has 5 wins thus far this year in 6 races. His only loss was to his younger brother, Luke, in the number 2 truck.
I hope that happens. But I don't hope I lose to my brother, though.
Well,
Would you rather lose to him, or would you rather lose to some hot shot that just came up from...
Some hot shot, because I have to go home and listen to my brother say, ha, I beat you.
Well, that's just brotherly love.
Yeah, I guess.
So who do you have in this race?
I don't really watch the rookie races, but I'd say the number 3 and 4 have good cars. They qualified pretty good, so maybe they can grab a win.
We are getting ready to start our Blue Rookie race for this afternoon, where there are 4 cars in the field. Running over the starting lineup again. In the number 1 car will be Jack Everson, and the 2 car will be Dylan Thomas. The 3 car will be Thomas McDonough, and number 4 will be Nazar Rush. And they are lining up the field for the green flag. And looks like we got some pretty clear skies.
I think it's going to clear up. We only got 4 more races to go. Mr. Riffle has 1 more. You're at the in the final race of the day, Levi, and Luke's in the next to last race. The green flag comes out. 4-car field. They're going to let that start stand. It was a little bit shaky at the front. Oh, wow.
Oh, that was close.
He
McDonough grabbed the wall, but
he was,
Nazar Rush barely missed that one.
Yeah, McDonough spun out right at the start-finish line. He was sitting in a very dangerous position, and he was one car passed him on the top, one on the bottom, very heads-up driving by these blue rookie drivers. It was Nazar Rush, and the other car was number 2, Dylan Thomas. But Jack Everson has jumped out to the lead here in this blue rookie 25-lap event. So first caution comes out.
Yeah, on the start they seemed to all get tangled up.
Yeah, I thought the start was they'd already pushed the number 2 car, Thomas, up out of the way, and I was anticipating they were going to wave off the start, but they let it go. I guess with 4 cars, you're going to sort yourself out when you get to the turn anyway, so maybe it was not a critical. But if it had been 8 or 9 car field and the second place car got hit like that, they'd all piled up behind him. And they're taking the 3 car to the pits. Don't know if he's going to. They're not really in a big hurry. Looks like they're going to. They may be calling it a day for Mr. McDonough. Looks like his dad's pushing the car down to the pit area. No one's running to the toolbox, and your dad's actually over there helping them. Looks like they got some. Trying to straighten out something on the right side of the car.
Trying to straighten out the radius rods.
Looks like they're.
It looks like the front shock looks like it's bent up.
Did he hit anything, or
he fell and he got loose and hit the wall. He came into the wall straight on.
Okay. So they're going to give him the 5-lap rule to make the repair if possible and get him back out there. Now we have Everson, Thomas, and Rush lined up 1, 2, 3 for the restart. We have had no green flags completed in his 25-lap blue rookie feature. Now they're putting McDonough, pushed him down the pit road. He'll be taking the track again. He'll be lining up in the rear of the field. So now we have all 4 cars back in the lineup with Everson leading the field and Thomas running second, Rush running third, and McDonough will restart fourth with still 25 laps of green flag racing to be completed. Green flag is in the air with Everson getting a great start. Jumps out to about a 10-car lead here on the very first lap. Does a real good job of hitting his marks in the corners. Lets the car float up toward the wall to maintain that perfect rhythm around the track.
The 3 comes off the track and he is done for today.
The 3 is heading toward the garage, so he's not going to be able to complete the 25-lap A main. So Everson with about a 10-car lead over Dylan Thomas and Nazar Rush, who is running in the 3rd position. Both the distance between first and second, and then second and third is about the same, about 10 cars between each position. Everson is kind of out running his race without much of a challenge from behind. Of course, Thomas, as soon as I say that, Thomas is making a little bit of that ground up, and they're separating themselves from Rush, who is falling back about a straightaway behind the second place car. Everson again is leading. Jack Everson. Dylan Thomas is creeping up on him. Don't know if he's going to have enough he's got 14 laps of racing to catch him, but he's certainly cut into that lead that Everson was enjoying for first 10 laps of this race. Again, Thomas is right on the in the same tire marks as Everson, but he just doesn't have enough to close the gap. Looks like in the corners he maybe makes up a little bit of distance, and then on the straightaways, Everson's been able to pull away from him. But now it looks like Thomas is maintaining that about a 4-car length deficit at the moment with 8 laps of racing to go. Don't know if he's going to have enough to catch Everson. Now he's down to about 3 cars, so looks like he's going to give it everything he's got here with 6 laps to go. He could make a race out of this, Levi. He's getting closer. Now we got 5 laps to go. Now Everson has stretched it back out to about a 6-car length lead with 4 laps to go, and looks like maybe this race is going to go Everson's way. I think he's had no challenges from anyone behind him, and about as close as Thomas got was about a 3-car length disadvantage behind Everson. Everson takes the white flag, comes around turn 3 and 4, and crosses the stripe as the blue rookie winner in this 25-lap A main event, and that will put Everson in first. Dylan Thomas finished second. Nazar Rush was third, and Thomas McDonough was not able to restart after he had a couple of issues and never could get his car running, so he went to the garage early. So that's going to wrap up the blue rookie race. We got 3 races to go. The next race is the Light World Formula, which is there's 3 drivers in this next event. They're all 3 good drivers. It's going to be interesting to see. You've got Hunter Hutchins starting on the pole in the Light World Formula, and you've got Neil Allison will start in second, and then our guest in the booth that left a few minutes ago, Mr. Ryan Repko, will start third, and Levi Riffle has, I think he's going to get ready for his pre-race routine. You know, these drivers are pretty...
they're superstitious.
They're superstitious. And
they're almost as bad as baseball players, but
some of them...
Baseball players take the top of the list.
Yep. So Everson does his victory lap with the checkered flag. He's headed back to the garage area. They'll go across the scale and get their weight recorded, make sure everything is legal, and they will have the Light World Formula 3-car field. This should be an interesting race. Repko obviously is very, very quick. Neil Allison is just a great little driver. And Hunter Hutchins is a good driver he's always, Hunter always comes out competitive and tries to, he gives everything he has. He's a great little driver. And this is going to be one of those that 3 experienced drivers, they all 3 know how to get around this track, so it should be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm interested in see how Ryan will do in this race, being that he is... I wouldn't say would you say a legend here?
Who, Ryan Repko?
Yeah, Ryan.
For the number of wins that he got, he's certainly a name that everybody knows. So they're coming out for the warm-up laps with Neil Allison is on the track with Hunter Hutchins, and then Ryan Repko will be starting third in the 3-car field. As you can tell, these cars are a little bit louder than your other classes we just witnessed.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
So they've got their warm-up laps underway and have completed them. Flagman throws out the caution flag for the field to line up for the green flag start in this 35-lap feature in the Light World Formula class of cars. Hunter Hutchins on the pole with Neil Allison outside front row. and they are followed to the green flag by Ryan Repko.
Ryan they're going 3 wide.
They got a car turned over and turned. That was actually they're going to throw the red flag for the stoppage of the racing. But Ryan actually, from our vantage point, Alec, looks like Ryan Repko dove below the yellow line.
Medical red, please do not touch your cars. Check on your drivers.
Yeah, he
Don't you think he dove below the?
I think he dove below the.
And I'm sure the starters saw that, and he will be penalized for that. Of course, in a 3-car field, he's going to start third anyway. So
Right. So.
And they actually took the green, but never completed the lap. So. But Alec, that's an example of, and that was a mild rollover. It was almost like a slow motion rollover.
Yeah, he just went.
And then, of course, he's okay, ready to resume his racing. Looks like Neil Allison's car has stopped on the track, so his dad's going to push him, get him started. So right off the bat, we get a caution with the 3 cars getting together.
Ryan definitely dove down to the bottom of that, and I wouldn't say caused that wreck, but going 3 wide into turn 1 is probably not the smartest idea.
So they're going to restart single file 1, 2, and 3. And here goes the green flag with Hunter Hutchins. His car is loose. He may have damaged something, but there goes Ryan Repko diving below Neil Allison. Repko takes over the second spot. He is on the bumper of Hunter Hutchins. He blows by
Ryan,
Hunter on the back stretch. So after 2 laps of racing, Ryan Repko pulls away.
Ryan's out to about a straightaway lead within a matter of 4 laps.
4 laps, 5 laps. Now here goes Allison, loses control coming across the start-finish line, regains the car back under him, and he is trailing Hunter Hutchins. He's in 3rd place, Hutchins in 2nd, about a straightaway, almost a half a lap deficit between 1st and 2nd. Repko is, as they say, he's on a rail. Looks like he's flying around this racetrack.
I wouldn't be surprised if this race stays green, if Ryan will lap him at least 1, maybe 2 times.
He's certainly got the much faster car than what the other 2 are showing right now. He's got 24 more laps of racing, 23 more laps of racing.
He's about a half a straightaway back from number 1, and that's going to be Hunter Hutchins.
So when he catches up to Hunter Hutchins, that'll be the first car he puts a lap down, as he is totally dominating this light world formula race. Now he goes around Hunter to start-finish line, and Hunter gets out of his way. Looks like Hunter's car has quit on him, so the caution flag will come out. And Hunter coached to a stop in turn 2. Don't know, Hunter was he was pounding on the steering wheel like something broke on his car.
I heard something. It sounded like I could hear it from here. And it sounded like it was something from underneath his car or in his engine or something. It didn't sound good. But that just cut Ryan's lead. I mean, he did lap Hunter. He lapped him, but yep. See his chain?
So his chain either came off or broke, and now we're going to get a restart, which is going to erase a half a lap lead that Ryan Repko was enjoying. Mr. Beaupre's back in the broadcast vantage point. We're going to have a word with Will. Will finished 2nd in his red rookie race to Katie Youngchuk. Will, you ran a good race, but how'd you think you did, and how did the race kind of play out with the, Katie kind of took the lead right away, and it was like nobody could catch her.
Yeah, I had some troubles on the restart there. The motor's still breaking in to get a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm. So did you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd rather win, right?
Yeah, I won a lot of. I came in a lot of second places a lot when I just started. Because I had Chad Allen's motor, and he let us borrow it, and then we got the UT2.
Uh-huh. Well, we got the restart here with the Light World Formula and Ryan Rebko again. Now we got Neil Allison with a single car spin out, and his mom's got her head in her hands and over across the finish line. And that was a one car. Those are the kind of spin outs you don't like to have, right, Will, right by yourself?
Yeah. It's really difficult to have them by yourself.
So he spins out in turn 1 and 2. So that's going to also, again, bring the field back together.
Mike, don't you think that Recco has a lot of skills here, and he runs his car smooth and keeps it steady?
Exactly. That's a very good analysis and a very good observation from a young man who's just getting started in racing. And Ryan, also, he's won a lot of races, and like you say, he's smooth. He knows this track, and he has fast cars, really fast cars.
And I might be moving up to Blue Rookie, and maybe next race.
Cool.
Dad has to talk to Ronnie.
So the restart is again Rebko just jumping right out like being shot out of a cannon. He's already straight away ahead of the second place car, which is Neil Allison. Neil got around Hunter Hutchins to take the second spot. This race has 12 laps of green laps to go, and looks like Hunter's pulling off the track. So now it's a two-car battle, but really not much of a battle, with Ryan Rebko about a half a lap in front of Neil Allison. Ryan is still, as young Will Beaupre said, he's very smooth. You can see Neil is battling that car and sliding around, a lot of tire noise coming up when he takes the corner. Now he spun out again at the start-finish line. So looks like Neil's struggling with his car, Will, today, and that's the second spin out by himself on the racetrack.
Well, Ryan Repko, I think he just moved on the inside, caused the wreck, and the two, I guess he just spun around in there and then hooked onto the one's tire and flipped it.
Yes, that when they had on their first start, where they had that little skirmish at the start-finish line. But what that's going to do is it's going to erase again another half-track lead that Ryan Rebko had, and bunch them back up bumper to bumper with Rebko starting first with Neil Allison now on his bumper. So for the third time, we'll see if Ryan can jump out to a lead. Green flag falls, and Rebko right away starts to separate himself from Neil Allison, about 2 car lengths at the start-finish line. Get 6 laps to go, and Ryan picks up another car length's lead. Looks like Neil's still having a struggle with his car. Looks like he's left side coming off the ground, coming off those near those rumble strips. Ryan's pulling away to about 10 cars.
It looks like Neil is just not running the right line, or the rumble strips are slowing down his car, or is it that spin?
Yeah, he obviously his car is not to his liking, and that's gonna put him in second place to Ryan Rebko, who had a very dominating performance. He had
a really good car too.
He did, and now when you look at these good drivers like that, are you picking up some ideas and learning how, as you get more experience, this is how I want to drive this track?
Yeah, mostly when you get older and older, you have to run different lines, and letting off might be much easier, but controlling that car is kind of difficult in keeping the car in throttle, letting it off.
So now we're down to just 2 more races to go today, Will. It's Heavy Honda will be coming up next.
And then I think Heavy 160.
Or Light 160 will be the last race of the day. Our Heavy Honda, which will have a 5-car field. And on the pole for this Heavy Honda will be Luke Akers, who was on the show earlier today. And starting second is Miss Abigail Kinney. And then third is Brandon Anderson, another one of the Anderson boys from Winston-Salem. Macy Curry will be starting fourth, and Leif Trabelsi, who is a first-year racer in the Heavy Honda classification, he will be starting shotgun on the field. I think it's his first Heavy Honda race. He'll be starting in the 5th position. So it's going to be a race of probably the most experienced driver in this field is probably between Brandon Anderson and Macy Curry. And Abigail Kinney's had quite a bit of experience racing in these competitive races. But Luke Akers and Leif Trabelsi, they're both it's their first year in this competitive field, so we'll see how they perform. And again, Will, the rain is held off. Did you do that for us? Did you perform a miracle and just say it's not going to rain?
Maybe.
Maybe. So you ended up with the 2nd place finish in what I thought was a real good race. I always tell
the outside kind of messed me up on that start because everybody slobbered all over the place, and it just scared me.
Yeah, I noticed when you're on the outside, they start going every which way. It's nerve-wracking, but you held your composure and you were able to
catch up the 80 bucks.
Yep, you were, like I said, if there had been, I was saying to Alec after the race, if there had been 2 more laps in this race, you would have won it. But Katie came up on a lap car at the start-finish line at the checker flag, and you were coming right up close. And I thought, well, if they had to negotiate this track another couple of times, I think Will would have been right on her bumper and might have won that race. But Katie's really doing well for for a rookie just getting started. She's really a good little race car driver.
Well, I want to move up to Blue Rookie to see how it goes.
Well, Blue Rookie will be obviously it'll be a little bit faster, but I think
it's faster.
Yeah, but I think you have the ability to
move up
to race in a Blue Rookie type of environment. Of course, you got to get with Ronnie Sipka, who's a rookie director, and see if he thinks you're ready to.
Dad said that after the race, and
well, we're going to bring on another driver here, Will, for a moment. Let Mr. Lucas Sipka have a word, if you don't mind. I want to talk to him about his races, and congratulations on finishing second. You did a great job, and look forward to your next race. Okay, that's Will Beaupre, finished second in the red rookie race. And now Mr. Lucas Sipka, who's patiently waiting in the I don't think he was in the green room. We don't have a green room, do we?
No.
He was in the cloudy, overcast balcony at the tower. So, Lucas, you come home with a 4th place finish. How do you think your race went in the senior Honda?
Thought it went great. We got past a couple times and passed him back. Got past once and tried to get him back, but it didn't go out well. Started on the outside, but it felt like I was on the inside.
It was a fun race to watch. So they're doing their warm-up laps here for this heavy Honda. Who do you like in this race, Lucas?
Let me see.
You got Macy.
Luke Akers.
You like Luke Akers, and then you got Brandon Anderson. He's going to be tough. Abigail Kennedy's going to be tough. Macy Curry.
I'll just tell you my top 3.
Okay.
It's Luke Akers, Abigail Kenny, and Macy Curry.
Okay, we're going to hold you to that. This is the heavy Honda 35-lap main, and they take the green flag with Akers at point. And Akers goes a little bit high in the turn, and he is passed by Brandon Anderson. So Brandon takes the lead on the very first lap with Macy Curry right behind him. And that's going to push Luke Akers back to third place. So it's Anderson and Macy Curry stretching out their two-car battle ahead of Luke Akers by about a dozen car lengths. Curry is going to dive under Brandon Anderson and takes the lead. Brandon comes back and almost does a crossover, but thinks better of it.
I did that twice.
So on now we got to spin out. Luke Akers spins out in the back stretch. So Luke, I think he wasn't that a one-car spin, no contact. He just rear tires just got loose on him and spun around. So they will send Mr. Akers to the rear of the field for, as the rule is, you bring out a caution, you restart at the tail end of the field. But it's also going to bunch the field back up again after Curry and Anderson had stretched out their lead. Now we're going to have to line them up bumper to bumper. And it's going to be Trabelsi will move up to third position, and Kenny will be in fourth, and Luke Akers will start shotgun on the field. Looks like the field is lined up properly. The starter gives them
Hasn't done it yet.
does not give them the one to go. They're still communicating with the tower about the lineup. Don't see a reason for the delay, but I'm sure they're all lined up correctly. Looks like he may want to give the one to go this time by.
He is.
So this time when they come around turn 3 at the cone, they will put the pedal down and
Green flag.
be back under the green. They've thrown the caution again.
Oh.
I think they're trying to keep the cars closer together, but the first two cars, Lucas, are they're more experienced drivers than the other ones behind them, and they're getting on the gas, and the other three cars are kind of hesitating.
You know, as a driver, when you think he's going to throw the one, you never know when he's going to throw the one to go. Never. And when he does, you just push it to the floor, stay on the bumper, and then you're good.
Yep. So Curry is still maintaining her lead. Anderson dives in underneath Curry in turn 2, and Anderson is going to
get the lead.
Take the lead.
Here comes Macy. Back to the crossover. Ooh. Almost took the nose off of, I think it was Brandon's car.
Yeah, Brandon Anderson. So Curry, she gets out in front about 2 or 3 car lengths, and Macy's been strong all year in both the cars that she drives. She's really got them hooked up and does a great job of driving. And Brandon Anderson's also got a strong car. Here goes Akers getting around Abigail Kinney at the in the back of the field. A lot of good racing all over the track. We got Macy Curry trying to hold off Brandon Anderson in front, and we got Luke Akers getting around Leif Trabelsi. That was almost and now Abigail gets up on the back bumper of Leif Trabelsi. That was almost a wreck, Lucas. It was close.
It's cold up here.
The wind is blowing, his temperature's dropping. We got one more race to get done to finish after this one, but back to the action. It's Curry about a half a lap ahead of Curry and Anderson are about a half a lap ahead of the third place car of Luke Akers, but Akers is separating himself from the
15 to go.
So now we got 14 laps now, and Macy Curry is she's hitting her marks very, as they say about Ryan Repko, very smooth around the track. She's coming up now on Leif Trabelsi to put this young driver a lap down, and she negotiates that turn perfectly and dives under Trabelsi. And here comes.
Tough luck. That's what happens in plain racing. Tough luck.
That was Brandon Anderson was trying to get around the lap car of Leif Trabelsi, and you
got into him.
You can't put 8 tires in the same spot, and when the
tires hit each other,
the right front tires of Anderson's tire went up over the rear tire of Trabelsi, and
when one tire hits another tire, it's trouble.
And they're lucky that they're both still on four wheels and running around, because a lot of times you do a lot of damage when you hook tires like that. But fortunately, they were able to slow down. And looks like Anderson was able,
sparks coming out of the 3.
He was able to continue, and I think he maintained his second position to Macy Curry.
I think he did.
But that was interesting. We got 13 laps to go.
Unexpected.
So we had 3 in the 5 car.
Lily through the green. Caution's back out.
Back out.
Again, they try to keep these cars as closely together as possible. So now they're in good. Looks like they're lined up.
Hopefully they
good.
can do it this time.
And get this green flag. He does throw the green flag.
They got the green this time.
Macy Curry again. She's leading this 5-car field, but Brandon Anderson is not giving up. He is right there. Close to being on her bumper.
11 laps to go here, coming to the line.
The wind's picking up, and who knows what's going to happen with the weather.
Might rain, might not. If it rains, I'm out of here.
So now,
we're not indoors.
Yep. So Macy Curry is still, she's got this race pretty much under
bag.
control with 8 laps to go. I think Brandon, he has a good car, but
I don't think he's got a good enough car.
Well, I think
he might.
Once he got hooked up with Trabelsi, maybe he did a little bit of damage. You said you might have saw some sparks coming out.
I did see some sparks from the
So
right side.
he could have some front end suspension damage, something off just a little bit, and doesn't have that ability to get around Macy. But he is right there, back up on our bumper, and we're down to 4 laps to go.
And here comes the 3. Will he do it? He might not. He might not. Hopefully, he might.
Or he might not.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There he goes. He's trying to get under her, and he almost hits the. They got the white flag left, and Brandon Anderson.
And Macy Curry.
Macy's going to hold off Brandon Anderson. That was
Macy.
But you know what? That was some good racing, Lucas, because Brandon could have wrecked her.
Yeah.
Because they were right in turn 3 and 4, almost hooked up together side by side, and I know they're good friends, and I know they don't want to make one another mad. But that was, I got to give Brandon Anderson credit for that, because he could have been over aggressive and gone in there and pushed her out of the way up against the wall and won that race, and he chose not to do that. And that to me, that's a credit to his.
Driving.
It is. And Macy had a strong car, but Anderson didn't give up. He kept his wits about him, and he was going to do all he could to win that race.
Cold. Wish I brought a jacket up here. But Macy Curry.
So Macy has won her, she won her. She lost to Brandon's brother in the heavy 160. She finished second.
I think Nick could win the light.
We got one more race to go with the clouds looking very, very scary,
All right.
and the wind blowing. Do you need to go get inside, Lucas?
Yes, I'm freezing cold.
Well, we appreciate you coming over here and talking to us.
No problem.
Congratulations on your run today, and good luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I think you're a great little driver, and we'll hope to see you in Victory Circle one of these days.
All right.
Lucas Sipka. I think we're going to have it. So as we get ready for the finale, Mr. Hodges, what's your impression after 9 great races?
This has been a lot of fun, even though it's been kind of hectic with trying to dodge the rain and seeing all these people kind of run frantically.
Yeah, these families, they want to get their races in, and boy, it just looks like any minute now the bottom's going to fall out. We're going to have another one of our drivers on here while we're having a little bit of a delay in the action. We're going to have one of our junior Honda competitors, Braden Allen. Braden, how are you today?
Good.
How did you? You had an 8th place finish, but your car got dinged up, didn't it? Were you in like a?
Yeah, just the right bars wasn't bent, so the whole steering was messed up. So I had trouble steering.
So it kind of ruined your day as far as being competitive.
Yeah.
my dad said if I run the run I supposed to was first. But when he was doing this, I thought he meant to get closer in the turns.
So the signals were saying one thing, and they meant another thing, and you didn't quite understand. Now you're driving, as we said, I think on the last broadcast, you're driving a different car this year.
Yes.
Do you like this new car, the different car?
Yeah, that's all right. I've been running pretty good with it.
Now, have they been able to set it up to your liking? Has it been set up right? So what do you think? Is this rain going to come, or we're going to get this last race in?
I hope we do.
I know it's been a lot of fun today. We've gone through 9 of these races, and even with the threatening skies the way they are, it's been a lot of good racing. Has the track picked up some grip since earlier this morning?
No.
It has not? So your car still didn't get a lot of grip? You were loose out there?
Well, it was all right. It was too tight.
Just your car was too tight? So now your crew chief is your dad, right, Chad?
Yeah.
He does most of the work on it. Or does Chip? Chip does a lot of it. But on race day, Chad kind of takes over. Your dad takes over, and
well,
of course
today he didn't.
He had to work.
Yeah.
He got here late.
Chip and Ronnie had to.
So how do you think about like down here when there's? We were noticing a while ago when someone gets into has an issue with a car, everybody comes over to help. It's kind of fun to watch all the other fathers come over. When they're racing, like if your chain comes off, there are going to be all kinds of people run up there to help you get back on the track. Must make you feel pretty good knowing they want you back out there because you're out here to race. That's why you come down here to get on the track. Now this is the Light 160. There's going to be 7 cars in this field, and Mr. Nick Loden, very familiar name, is going to be starting on the pole, and starting on the second spot will be number 2, Connor Yunchuk, who just came out on the track. John Michael Repko will be in the third, and then Levi Riffle will be starting 4th. Ryan Repko, who's, as you know, he's a great race car driver.
He's pretty fast.
He is. And then Delana Hodge, and rounding out the field, starting shotgun on the 7-car field will be Mr. Neil Allison. These cars are going through their hot laps to try to get a little bit of heat in the tires, get the cars warmed up as best they can. And they will have a 35-lap feature that will wind up today's racing program here at the NCQMA. It's absolutely amazing that we have not had any rain to stop any of the action.
Well, all the time we had rain was during qualifying.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, qualifying had a little bit of sprinkle, and then we stopped that for a little bit, and then all of a sudden everything cleared up. And I would have not have predicted this at 10 o'clock this morning.
It kind of looks like over there going in turn 1, there's a lot of grip.
Yep, in turn 1, it looks like right over here. So they're going to get them all lined up, but looks like the 4-car Levi needs to get up in his position on the outside of the row 2. And now they are, with Neil Allison falling in the tail end of the field on the inside of row 4. Now we're going to do 1 to go, trying to get this race underway. Not a lot of time with the rain coming, so they should be good to go. These are seasoned drivers, veteran drivers, and we got contact right off the bat with
Nick, Ryan, and
looked
his
like
brother.
The number 2 car, Connor Youngchuk. He had a little contact too with Nick Loden. That was a wreck waiting to happen. A lot of contact, Alec, in that.
Yeah.
So I saw Nick spin. I'm like, all right, that ain't gonna be good.
No, it was too bad that we've had mainly a caution-free day as far as long delays, and now.
As soon as I saw a delay go up to a wall, I thought she was gonna go right to a wall.
So Nick Loden looks like he's going to head to the
pits.
To the pits to see what maybe his chain might have been knocked off, or.
So it looks like Connor Yonchuk will be in the pole, and third and second will be John Michael.
So John Michael Repko will be starting second in the single file restart. They did take the green, so they'll line them up single file. They're going to bring Levi Riffle up to the 3rd starting position, followed by Ryan Repko, Delana Hodge, and Neil Allison. Looks like they're trying to get Nick Loden's car repaired. 5 laps to go. They now say the field is in tow and they've got the proper lineup, so they're going to give Mr. Loden 5 laps to make the necessary repairs and get him back on the track. He will come back on the track starting in the final position, so he'll be starting behind Neil Allison if they do get his car repaired. It looks like they did make the necessary repair to his machine. It's pushed down pit road coming out of the hot chute, and he's back on the track. He'll line up behind Neil Allison at the tail end of the field. So he goes from the first position to the last position.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's happened to you before,
Yeah.
I think, where you get spun out on the start and then you have to end up going to the back.
That's like when we went into, I forgot what Georgia it was. Like every time I get in top and third, I'm top 3. Someone will wreck me. If I pass for second, this kid would just cut me right down on me.
So we got Connor Yunchuk.
There goes John Michael.
John Michael goes in the pits. He's got something wrong with his car.
Well, I guess he's going to be DQ now.
So we got Connor Yunchuk is not a surprise. He's out front with Ryan Repko trying to catch him.
Here's Nick trying to catch back up.
So Loden is in 5th position. We got Levi Riffles in 3rd, and Delana Hodge is now in the 4th position.
Later, Nick was had trouble with passing Delana.
I don't know if you just noticed, but Connor Yunchuk did kind of a dirt track around on that previous lap. And that lap, he just couldn't hold it. But when he came out of turn 2 on that previous lap, he was at about a 45-degree angle, but he regained his composure and got that car headed in the right direction. But this lap, he came back out and he lost it coming out of turn 2.
Ryan Repko the position to be in first.
Yep, Ryan Repko will inherit the lead.
Ryan Repko had him still.
And we had number 7. Looks like he's done for the day, and that's
Neil Allison. He goes to the garage.
Like he's done for the day. It looks like John Michael's done too.
John Michael came off the track when it was green, so he's DQ.
So we got Mr. Ryan Repko followed by Levi Riffle. Both those gentlemen were up in the booth earlier today talking, and now they're out fighting tooth and nail on the racetrack, Alec.
Yeah, I was about to say we got 2 familiar faces up front with Ryan and Levi running 1 and 2.
These are the most fastest people I saw in this class was Ryan Repko and Levi.
Yeah, and Delana Hodge, she's pretty fast too. So we'll see on this restart. They're lined up single file.
I think this is our 3rd race.
The green flag is in the air with Ryan Repko trying to distance himself from Levi Riffle. Levi's maintaining about a half a car length behind Ryan Repko. Connor Yunchuk gets around Nick Loden at the tail end of the field.
Like on the straightaways,
Levi's
catching
Levi's getting ready to make a move.
Levi's trying to get a move inside off of Ryan Repko, and he takes the lead. So Levi Riffle takes the lead from...
looks like this will be bound for a lead.
Now Ryan Repko stays right on Levi's bumper.
Yeah, and he's catching up, just like Levi did to him.
So Ryan's kind of he's a patient driver. He'll wait for the right opportunity, but Levi is also a cagey driver, so he knows Ryan's back there.
Like last time Ryan won, he waited the last lap because he was all over the leader's bumper and passed for the lead. Because they were kind of battling for the lead, he just waited.
So now Ryan Repko dives down below Levi on turn 4 for the crossover move.
Yeah. Looks like there's going to be a battle.
So now we got 4 and 5 crossing over, and Levi is now back at the point with Ryan Repko.
Meanwhile, Yunchuk is
catching up.
Yeah.
Well, they've made those 2 racing like that. They've made a race out of this with bringing those 4 cars together. Connor Yunchuk is on Ryan's bumper, and Nick Loden is rebounded from his spin out, and he's right back up there. Now we got Ryan Repko jumping to the inside. That's going to push Levi out to the outside. He's going to go from 1st to 4th in less than a lap.
All those top 4 cars was all together.
You got Ryan Repko out in front at about two and a half car length lead over Connor Yunchuk.
So there's Nick trying to catch up to Connor.
Yunchuk. Yeah, the loading is right on Yunchuk's bumper, and looks like Riffle is he's faded back after being shuffled to the outside, and with the those three drivers that are running 1, 2, 3, you can't give them any room on the inside, or they'll leave you out to dry, and that's what they did to Levi Riffle. He had a great car up front, but these three cars in front of him are equally fast and equally talented drivers. And on the white flag lap, looks like Mr. Ryan Repko is going to take the white flag as the leader by about 10 car lengths. There's a battle for second between Nick Loden and Connor Yunchuk, and Connor Yunchuk takes the win. Take second place.
Nick just catched up.
So we got
Yunchuk passed the checker line. About to. Nick was right on his bumper.
So we got Ryan Repko winning that race, and Connor Yunchuk, who made a great recovery. So did Nick Loden. Both Loden and Yunchuk were involved in spin-outs and had to start from the rear of the field, and both of them.
And 2 cars got DQ.
And the other 2 cars in the field, as Braden said, is they did not finish the race. Neil Allison and John Michael Repko.
John Michael came off the track because something was on the car, and it was green.
So that's going to wrap up our final race of the day here, and I am very, very surprised that we got this far in racing today. But I'm happy that we were able to get the races in. Alec, this was your first full day of racing, and it's quite a treat to see these young drivers.
That's a lot of fun coming out here and watching these kids, because seeing them from leaning out of their cars to the crossovers, the 3 and 4 crossovers in a row, it's great racing.
It's really like I said, it's amazing that these kids learn so quickly, and they're also I don't know, they're mature beyond their years, as we always said when we have our show, Sports Talk, and some of them come on the air with us. They're just very, very mature for their ages. They really understand what they're doing down here in these race cars, and it's fun to cover these guys and gals. So at 2:55 p.m., we are finished racing at NCQMA, and
that was that's
a world record.
2 hours.
It was not a long day. We did have in some of the classes, there was a little bit of a small car count, which did help a little bit as far as not having as many cautions or stoppages of action on the track. But you got to commend all these handlers and these drivers. They kept the pace going all day, all afternoon, and they did what we're all hoping, because as we know, the rain is still on the way. It's going to be here any time, and probably going to stick around for a day or two. So
don't say that.
Well, it may not be here tonight. You might still be able to get your Bowman Gray fight night in at the stadium.
Hope so.
And I appreciate you coming down here and joining us.
It was a pleasure.
And
as you know, a lot of fun.
You're always welcome to come and cover these races with us. It's really going to be. We're trying to enhance our coverage. We've got some equipment ordered that hasn't come in yet that's going to allow us to do some neat things in the pit area with some driver interviews when they climb out of the car. You know, a lot of the things we're trying to improve upon. But I want to thank Mr. Yunchuk, Chris Yunchuk from Flash Products, for coming on board this year and being our primary sponsor of Tracking Live, which is our pre-race 1-hour show that we do every race, and then also sponsoring our racing coverage on race day. So we really enjoy doing these races, and when those young drivers come up to talk on the air, it's amazing just how, you know, I had only talked to Mr. Beaupre probably once when he won a race, but I was so impressed with how he sat here and he analyzed what Ryan Repko was doing.
Right.
And he talked about how smooth he is and how he's hitting his marks. And that's just a young kid who's only been racing just for a few weeks now.
And how old is he?
He's probably maybe 5 or 6, I would imagine.
Wow.
But to sit here and to watch a seasoned veteran who wins a lot of races and to just absorb what he's doing. And that's why these young drivers become so great and can do so much on the track. So it's just fun to do this. And again, Alec, we want to say we appreciate you. I know you have a busy schedule. You're a very busy voice of the dash. Now you're going to go do go watch some racing at Bowman Gray. But we have a big fall season ahead of us.
We do. We have a huge fall season.
We're going to be, matter of fact, we have some things in the works that we're going to be announcing that I think are going to be really interesting. As we've already publicized, we're going to be doing some coverage at Salem College. As much coverage as possible with their athletic programs. We're getting ready to broadcast the Glenn Bobcat High School football season, and we're actually going to. I talked to Coach Walker at the Glenn High School varsity men's soccer coach. We're going to actually broadcast a soccer game. He's got someone in mind that can do the play-by-play for soccer.
Just put a headset on him. He'll talk all night.
We don't. We'll have him stay on the sideline, but it's going to be fun to bring a soccer game because he was excited about us offering to do that. So we've got a lot of things that we're looking forward to in the next few months. Where we'll be doing a monthly show at Bibbs downtown. We have altered our schedule to where we're going to be doing just one show a month at Bibbs for the next few months. We have some special shows lined up, which we'll be announcing as time gets closer to those special shows. But we want to thank those of you who are listening in. We didn't have Sam Hatfield today, who is our normal lap-by-lap commentator.
Right.
But we got along okay with Alec Hodges. We did really well. And our guest drivers who do a great job analyzing what's going on the track because they understand it a lot better than I will ever understand. And again, it was another great broadcast. We are fortunate to be able to bring these to you thanks to Mr. Yunchuk at Flash Products. And we also want to encourage folks to go to the NCQMA.com website besides TradSportsCoverage.com. We were involved redesigning the NCQMA website, and it's still a work in progress because of all the background information we have to get. But we encourage you to go to their website and to look around the website and see some of the things that maybe look a little bit different. We're trying to get all the driver profiles up on the website with pictures so you can see your favorite driver, or if it's your grandson, granddaughter, or whatever. If you're not able to come to the races. And we appreciate those folks who listen and have made comments about how they enjoy what Sam Hatfield has been doing with our broadcast. And we appreciate when Sam's in town, his willingness to come on and give his expertise. And it is expertise because Sam is you talk about legends in quarter midget, he's a legend around these parts, as they say. So we appreciate that. And we want to thank all those who were not able to make it out here today. If you're listening, we appreciate that. The race will be archived and on the website for you to listen to at later dates. The tracking live show will be on, plus today's activity at the racetrack. So for Mr. Alec Hodges, I want to say thanks to Levi Riffle, to Will Beaupre, to Luke Akers. Who was the other drivers? We had a bunch of drivers.
We had a lot.
We want to say thanks to them and congratulations to all the drivers that were participating, and a special congratulations to those who were able to win. It was a fun day, a nice clean day of racing. So until we meet on the air again, which we will be letting you know when that's going to be, there's supposedly a race coming up Tuesday. Next Saturday is a fun race here at the track, so we will keep you apprised on our website. Keep an eye on TradSportsCovers.com for our next broadcast. Thank you, and enjoy your weekend. And if you're headed to Bowman Gray, pick out your favorite driver and cheer for him, and pick out the one you don't like and cheer for him also. So for Alec Hodges, Mike Pettaway saying so long from the NCQMA in beautiful Salisbury, North Carolina.
Adios.